Happy Friday, and welcome to another episode of From the Honeycomb, a podcast that creates a spark of positive energy in your home to design, architecture, yoga, meditation, and travel. I've created this podcast as a place to come for design inspiration and especially to learn about Vastu Shastra with a modern approach. I'm your host, Katerina, and welcome to From the Honeycomb. In today's episode, I am joined by a very special guest, my cousin, Veru. We talk about her recent immigration from the Czech Republic to the United States, what she's noticed is architecturally different in her new home, and how culturally different life is here in the U.S. now. She also shares with me how it is moving in with her husband after doing long distance due to the visa process and, of course, COVID delays. So join me. This is going to be a fun episode. We had a blast recording, and I can't wait to share it with you.
So hello, I'm really excited to be a guest of your episode, so thank you so much for having me.
Yay, excited to have you here. So as we begin every episode, we like to share what we are grateful for in this moment.
I have to say that I'm really grateful to you because you introduced me to my husband. So it's been almost 2 years to wait to be here. So I think that's the one thing that I can say right now.
And I'm really grateful too that you are here now. It was a long process, which we don't have to get into in the episode, but the visa process, so just a little backstory is Veru came to visit Jesse and I for 3 months back in 2019. She stayed with us, and that's where she met her now husband, which I introduced her to, and decided they wanted to be together. And the visa process to get to the U.S., of course, was delayed by COVID, the amount of paperwork, everything. But here she is, finally, almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah. Zdraví, cheers.
Zdraví, cheers.
She's here. Yeah. And so it's been, we have to drink after we cheers.
You told me that we can drink wine during this podcast, so that's the reason why I'm one of your guests.
Exactly. That's how I got her on here. I got her on here by giving her some wine. But yes, so it was a long process, but you're here now. And so I wanted you to come onto the podcast to talk about the differences you see now that you've lived here for about 5 months. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what you see, especially around the home, because since you've been here, you've made little comments that have interested me, because even though I was born in the Czech Republic and came to the U.S., I've grown up around a lot of the home layouts, just things I wouldn't think of. So there's been a few things you've talked about that are different.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think what's like a really big thing, which is like different, because like many people ask me what's the most different thing, what kind of thing you can compare. For example, at home, like, did you have a dryer, did you have a dishwasher or something like this? And yeah, we had it, and I think I have to say like that Prague, and especially like the Czech Republic, is typical for these things, especially right now. And maybe in a couple of years ago it was different, but right now in my last apartment where I stayed in Prague, that I had dishwasher but I had no dryer, so maybe this one is a little bit different, but I knew it. So I have to say that nothing was so like, I wasn't in shock to see anything new here, especially at home or during home. Maybe like what I noticed, and it was interesting, maybe it is just because of Orange County or where we live with my husband, but it is that houses or apartments are not used to have, for example, raining. So if it's rain, that it was kind of funny that we can see like water inside like of our
the
house.
Rainwater, yeah.
So I think that walls are not so strong enough to have like these weather changes. For example, because as you know that in Prague we have like snow, we have like rainstorms and all these stuff, and it's windy all the time, especially during winter and autumn. So I think that it was just one thing. Like what
the walls leak, they do. And also I heard a comment about it actually at work this past week, is there's a thing called a vapor barrier. So this thing you put on a wall, it's like a piece of paper that doesn't allow water to come through, And back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, when my apartment was built in the 80s, I think yours was apartment around the 60s, 70s,
I think so.
they didn't have that. And so you get water in. And also for those who are listening who don't know how a lot of California works is, we just get rain very quick, very sudden after a period of time where we haven't had rain a lot. So it's a good point is we all of a sudden get a ton of rain and our roads can't handle it. We have landslides. That is true. So
yeah.
And
also when I'm thinking about it, that maybe the other thing what I was surprised, but it's not especially around house or apartments or about architecture, but if you're expecting some packages that messengers are leaving your package in front of your doors, which is like really different because we don't have it in Czech. So if you are not at home, they will not deliver to you the package. So you have to be at home or you have to be there personally to get the package, otherwise you will not get it. So I think that it was like one of these things around home that I noticed that it's different, because many times we can just see like that messengers, they just left the package in front of doors and that's it. Like yeah, they just sent you the photo that you have the package and that's it. So that maybe this one is really usual for you, but for me it was like unexpected, and it was like kind of like shock.
Yeah, no. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why I wanted you to come on. Is like there's things. I know I have a lot of American listeners who listen who don't think about. Also, we have Amazon Prime, which a lot of countries don't have. You can get your package within a few hours of buying stuff. So it is really interesting. I know you made one comment. We went out to dinner one night. You said you loved how you can go from the bedroom to the bathroom.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So I think that in Czech, it's not usual that you have like more than one bedroom at home. So, and especially if you have bedroom, that you have your own bathroom. So I have to say that's one thing which I really like here, that you don't have to walk out from your bedroom, that you can go, I don't know, you can
There's no hallway.
Yeah.
You don't have like a communal. It's almost like when you think about, like in the U.S., a lot of the homes we designed, the master suite, well, you're not supposed to call it the master suite anymore. The main suite has its main bathroom, and then the other bathrooms maybe share a bathroom and you have to go through the hallway into the bathroom, or there's a Jack and Jill bathroom. That's what I had with growing up, where the two bedrooms then share a bathroom, but you don't have to go out of a hallway to go into the bathroom. And so that's
that's what we have in Czech. For example, if you have 3 bedrooms or 2 bedrooms and you live in an apartment that you have just one bathroom, which is like like just one bathroom for everyone who is living in that apartment. So I have to say that it's really nice thing, and I used to it. And if maybe in the future we will have our own apartment or house, that I will always focus to have like bathroom from our bedroom. But I think that in US it will be like it's really usual, common. So it's more common. But especially in Europe, that I will focus on it because I really like it, and that's one thing which I really like.
Yeah, because I was thinking the last place I know I keep talking about Madeira on the podcast, but we had a house that we all stayed in, and we had 3 bedrooms upstairs.
Yeah.
And 1 bathroom
upstairs
and 1 little bathroom downstairs.
Yeah, I remember that we shared it, and it was too much.
It was way too much, because at one point we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 5 people staying, 6 too. Well, and then people constantly coming through, and that was tough. And so in the U.S., there's definitely more bathrooms designed. I know I was listening to a podcast a few years ago when Selling Sunset became a show, and it was these 2 girls from England, and they were like, why does somebody have 7 bathrooms? But in America, it's you have 1 per bedroom, 1 for the downstairs, like a powder room. If you have a pool, you need a bathroom. Then there's another communal, like, 1 for everybody. So if you have a 5-bedroom house, it is typical to have 7 bathrooms. If you have a pool.
Yeah, but it's crazy, because if you mention it in front of some Czech person or someone, that they would be like in shock, like, oh my god, why do you have 7 bathrooms? It's crazy. So
so every bedroom has 1.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. And so I guess Selling Sunset is a great show to think about, and if that's a very like popular show right now, is you have homes that have 5 bedrooms, which seems like a lot, but to an American, oh, okay, that sounds about right. Yeah. And 7 bathrooms. And you have only 1 kitchen though? No. But like it starts to make sense. So it's really interesting that is something that you noticed. So yeah.
I'm trying to think what else, but I think that in Europe you have like, if you think about houses or apartments or like in some facilities where you live, that it's like kind of like similar. I have kitchen is similar, bathrooms, bedrooms, living rooms. Like I think that everything is similar.
Have you noticed
except the bathrooms, so which I mentioned.
Have you noticed there's less doors?
Here in America?
Yeah. I noticed that one time, it was in my German class in high school, and my German teacher, she said, when you go to Germany, because she was telling some of my classmates we were about to go for a German exchange program, she said you will notice that Germans close the door behind them often, because you have, now in the more open style homes, but there's a lot more doors. There's a door from the living room to the hallway. There's a door, I mean, of course there's doors between the bedrooms and the bathrooms and the hallway, but like, so where my grandparents live in Czech, or my grandma lives in Czech, there's a door from the living room to the hallway, which you would not see in the US. You have the kitchen, the dining room, all in one.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe, yeah.
And that could be different
we have
style.
maybe more doors. I remember the apartment where I lived when I was a child, that we had like doors between living room and between
like the sleeping rooms, almost, yeah.
Yeah,
same thing, so it's just different there.
Yeah, but it's not like a big thing,
No, it's these little things, and I think now more also, and also you've come to the US a lot.
Another thing what I noticed is like the main door, they are not like a security door. You know what I mean? Like that you have just one lock here, and in Czech it's like a really really big thing that you should have a like huge and really heavy main door, like
with multiple locks.
Yes,
with
multiple
chains.
Locks. Yes,
you have the chain, you have the lock. That is very true too.
So I think that this one is also the second thing that I noticed, that here like main doors are more simple than in Europe or in Czech.
And in Prague.
Or in Prague.
Yeah, that is something, we are being very specific to Orange County and to Prague, where things are so different elsewhere. But yeah, no, you feel very at home here in Orange County. You seem to fit, you have this glow too. I can tell, like you have found your place. Like you're doing very well here.
I hope so. I'm trying. So
no, you are. You definitely do. You feel at home here. Do you feel at home here?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like as I said, like I have my husband here. I have you here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can say that's my home. And if I say like I'm going home, I will be home in 10 minutes, or I will be home soon. So yeah, I'm talking about home in Orange County. So yeah.
And then I guess I know I wanted to have Delwyn, your husband, on here for this, but since we're talking about your home and coming here, you and Delwyn, your husband, hadn't lived together until you moved here. How was that transition too, between like all of a sudden living together?
So I have to say like that we were separated for 2 years because of COVID, because of visa process and all this stuff. So it took more than 1.5 years in total, almost 2 years I think that we were separated. And I have to say like that during these 2 years that we saw each other a couple of times, every 5 months, 4 times we decided to travel somewhere. So we traveled, like it was really interesting that during COVID that we traveled a lot. So like it was nice. So we traveled to Mexico, we traveled to Madeira for your wedding, we traveled to Austria,
Canary Islands,
to Tenerife,
Mexico.
Yeah, he came to visit me in Prague twice. So we just traveled together, and we stayed always together just for 2 weeks, 1 week or something like this. So we were just so happy to see each other, and then he came back. So I have to say that in these 2 years I got to know him So when I moved here, when I came here to America, to Orange County, that I expected everything. So I wasn't surprised, and I have to say that we really enjoy to live together and
decorating. How is decorating together? I need to get some good stuff.
I know that Delwyn mentioned that maybe I brought like too many things from Czech, but yeah, I think that we are getting better with decorating. I was used to have like, he's always laughing about everywhere that I have like small faces, like small
little
angels
and
little
angel statues,
and angel statues, and like, you know, like photos with my family, photo with you, and like all this stuff. And he used to it. He had to used to it, you know, like I moved here, so there wasn't any other option. And right now I think that we just trying to do decoration better. So we're trying to like, we bought some piece of art and
the artwork you just bought too.
Yeah.
And you guys also bought, what you bought? Coffee table,
nightstands, and also dressers. So we are trying to like, you know, decorate our home together. So I think that we are working on it really good. And yeah, maybe one day when we move somewhere else, maybe, you know, like with one more bedroom, that I can put all these angel statues, you know, just for me. So yeah, but I think that we are really good. So yeah.
And you have a nice home. There's definitely, you can sense this, because I've been to his place before you moved in, and now that you've moved in, for me, it's like that touch of family. Like I go, oh, if there's a photo of us, or you have the painting of Prague, and there's just this, I don't want to even say like feminine touch, but there's this, the fresh flowers or something, and everything's cleaner.
Yeah.
Like you have this, you've added this, and you've created this beautiful home. Like Jesse and I were talking about, like we love your living room and just like how you walk in, and so you guys have done a very good job of also coming together as two cultures. Also, to give a background, Delwyn is Irish, but grew up in the United States. So there's just this whole different kind of culture, and you guys have really created a beautiful home.
Yeah, I have to say like that Delwyn did a really good job before I moved here. And yeah, and I have to say like that always, if you know, like two people are moving together, always, you know, that you will bring just you know, even like couple of things, and it just, you know, that you have like immediately like different feeling, different energy. And of course that when I came to the kitchen and I saw like drawers like with almost nothing there, so I had to buy like many things. So but I think that it's always, if you bring right like really good energy to home, like that, you feel like that it's your home.
Yeah, and you guys build it together. There's been a change in your apartment now, for sure. So you've definitely added to it. Yeah. We'll get those angel statues back one by one. No.
I really like it. So it reminds me like, I don't know what it reminds me, but I think that I feel like safe about it. And it's not that you cannot imagine like too many angel statues, but just a couple of them, and they're really nice. You know?
I didn't notice them until
I
you
have
said
them
something.
like, you know, if I like for 20 years, for example, one of them is from my parents and from my grandparents, you know, like, and they are really cute. But just my husband is making jokes about them, you know, that's it.
Is there something that he decorates with that you don't like?
Let me think about it. I have to say, no, nothing. I think that I really like everything what he decorated.
He has good taste.
Yeah. Because he studied like architecture. So I think that he has like the feeling about it. And
he has the good eye for good design.
So. And I have to say that maybe he is like better in designing things. You know, like for example, if you have like nightstands, or if you have like a wall with pictures or something, that he's always better to like arrange them. So yeah, I think that I like it. I cannot say anything like that I don't like.
I'm gonna pause, and then you want to tell me the truth.
No, really. like,
kidding.
no, really. He's
Yeah.
really good. So I have to say that I like everything. And if I don't like something, that it would not be there already. So, but I don't remember that I would like.
Cheers. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, no, it is. I've thought about having two, like, couples. I've wanted to have an episode where what it's like when you move in with your partner and you have, like, for you it was different, and I kind of had the same thing. You didn't have furniture coming here.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have furniture when I moved in with Jesse because of my living situation before, and moving from Chicago, I couldn't bring any furniture. So I think there's also a difference of you only brought what was in your suitcase, as opposed to if you had your favorite, coffee table and he had his favorite coffee table. That's a different mix. But it does change the dynamic differently when you have someone who already has a lot of stuff, furniture, kitchen stuff, that it is different. It's a little easier too. But
Yeah. I remember that, like, before when we started to have a visa process, that you remember it as well, that I was missing an espresso coffee machine here in the kitchen, because I compare like European coffee and American coffee, and it's like really different for me. So I had to buy an espresso coffee machine, which I really like because I was working in espresso. So that was the thing which I bought before when we decided to do the visa process. Like, so a couple of things, they are mine in the apartment. And of course that I sent like a couple of boxes, like with, as you said, like no furniture, but like decorations. So
did you bring any kitchen stuff or anything?
I did.
You did?
I did a couple of things, but like you cannot move anything. Everything, I mean. So so I left them in Czech, and and what we needed that we bought them. And
so we've talked about the home now, what has been different and what you liked. So what else have you noticed in the US that is different from Europe that maybe surprised you?
As I always said, that it's what's surprising me is when someone asks me, how are you? Hi, how are you? How is it going? Like, what's going on? Especially when I go like to grocery store or somewhere. So, like at the beginning, I didn't like these questions. Right now, I think that I'm trying to used to it because I know that here is the typical. But maybe some of your like subscribers, they know if they travel to Europe or if they travel to Prague, that no one will ask them like, how are you today? No, they would maybe just say like, hi, that's it. So maybe sometimes they will not even say hi to you. So I think that this one was like the biggest difference, which I didn't like at the beginning, but I said I'm trying to used to it. I like it. Sometimes when someone is not asking me how are you today or something like that, I'm sort of like, oh, maybe I said something wrong. Why she or he is not asking me, how am I doing? So that was like the biggest thing. Of course, like the language. So that was the first and the most difficult thing, to have like second language for me. And then also, like, I have to say, like, that people here are maybe they're more smiling, they're more nice, maybe because of weather, because of sun, or maybe because of mentality. I'm still trying to, process everything here. So, and then also the weather. Of course, that it's more sunny, nice weather here, like you have no snow, and maybe that you have raining just a couple of days
in 1 year
during the year. But I remember when I came here, and one of our friend of ours, he asked me like, so what do you like here and what do you don't like here? I said like, oh, I don't know what I don't like here. And then I was trying to think about it, and then I said like, I don't like the dry air here, like, because it was like something different. But otherwise, I have to say that I like it here. I really like it here, and I'm enjoying it. So maybe sometimes I would just say like, oh, like these things are different, maybe in better ways and maybe in worse ways, what we have in Czech or in Prague. But I have to say like that everywhere you have like positive and negative things. and maybe, if people will go to Prague, they will not like it, maybe they will like it. And maybe what I'm missing here, that I cannot walk here so much, that that you have to drive cars everywhere, even if you just want to get one thing from grocery, that you have to drive there. Maybe also the history part of the country, that if you go to Prague, that you can feel the history from the buildings and from everywhere. If you walk on some street or on some square, that you can feel
you're in a very young country and you're in a very young state. I think you'd feel it differently if you lived on the East Coast, although there it's only 250 years old, maybe we're close to 300 now. But here, California is not, everything is built with, especially in Orange County and where we live, 60, your apartment and mine was built in the 80s. That seems old. It's whoa, that's almost 40 years ago. It's wow.
So so I think that's the thing, that you can see difference between these buildings, or maybe between the history. But yeah, I like it here, and I cannot say that, of course, that you can see differences, but
you feel like a California girl. No, it suits you. California sun suits you, so that's good. So, there you go. Well, Veru, thank you so much for coming on this podcast. It's been nice. I know I've had little moments with you at dinner, or we're getting coffee, where I've got to ask you, how are you feeling here, moving here, what has been different? But it's been really nice to hear, just to sit down and really talk about your experience moving to America, and that you're happy here. It sounds like you're happy.
Yeah, I'm happy here. So thank you so much for today's episode, and I hope that you will like it.
Yes, we hope you like it. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this episode as much as we had fun recording it. Veru and I, we just have this great energy when we're together, so I really enjoyed recording with her. And if you like this episode, please give it a heart or thumbs up and click the follow button so you can stay up to date on the latest episodes. You can follow me on Instagram @From the Honeycomb Podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and see you next Friday.